Hello, my name is Derek Christensen. I will be presenting upon the book Understanding Accounting Ethics by Mark Sheffers and Michael Pakaluk. I will be presenting upon Chapter 5, Scenario 7, which is titled Life Can Be Easy. To begin off, I'd like to describe the scenario. First, the prior relationship of the two main characters, Susan York and Dirk Elliott. They were friends back in college where they went their separate ways. Afterwards, where Dirk, instead of going into the corporate world, he went off and started a health plus business in the medical field. Now Susan, she went into accounting and is an auditor, and she audits Dirk's business. One thing that I have noted on the slide is compassionate towards field of work. Now, Susan thought it was just amazing that Dirk did such a thing of going away from the corporate world into a world where he goes out to serve in Susan's mind. Now, because of this relationship that they had, Dirk saw this as well as Susan, but Dirk used this in a very rude way. He needs this audit done, just as he does each year, but for his medical business he needs it done in a timely manner so he can be reimbursed for the medical services that he provides through the government. Now, what Dirk did is he didn't give the information in a timely manner to Susan, where she didn't have very much time to get the audit done correctly. There's a red flag right there that we'll dive in, as well as Susan not putting forth the time and just trusting him. Another thing that I have noted is the lack of engagement in the industry. Susan should have been aware that the industry was changing in the medical field and how reimbursements were made, and it does not make mention of her time commitment in that regard. So with this scenario that is given, I have two resolutions. The first one that I have titled Resign from Engagement in the First Place is put there because I feel with the relationship that they have that Susan should not be auditing Dirk's business. There's too much on the line. There's too much trust in that regards. Now, I know it's important to be with your clients. You need to build relationships, but there's a point where there's too much there. There's too much personal relationships that it doesn't make it necessarily being independent. So resolution 2, however, I have it titled as Stop, Do Not Pass Go, Do Not Collect $200. What Susan should have done is stop the audit right when Dirk gave her the information with a day's notice that it needs to be done, and that does not give her a sufficient amount of time to go in and do the proper work. She should not have passed it on so that he can get his money. He was just using the relationship. Now, when we get put in positions where we are feeling stressed, when we're feeling that just uneasy about what's happening, we cannot move forward. We've got to pause. We need to have the courage to say no. Now, going along with this it becomes with a sad tale that Susan ended up passing Dirk's information along, and it came back to bite both of them later on, and it did not end well. So my resolution is to not pass the information forward. So in conclusion, I think it is important that we are professionally skeptical. With the time constraint, with Dirk contacting Susan regularly about this audit, how it needs to get done, it needs to be on time. That's a red flag in and of itself, especially when it came in late. You've got to be professionally skeptical, even if it is your college buddy. Also in retrospect is always a 20/20 vision. It is so clear, and it's important for us to read through these types of scenarios so that when we're placed in these kind of situations, we do not falter in the way that Susan did. So in applying this, we need to move forward. We need to be skeptical in a professional manner in the dealings that we have in our accounting profession. And we need to continue to build trust, and we need to serve, but we also need to follow the rules of the engagement. And so that sums up Scenario 7 in the book Understanding Accounting Ethics. Thank you.